Hello and welcome back to Tribal Earth Travel, the place where we explore the cultures and histories of tribes across the world. Today, follow me deep into the vast, harsh African savanna, where life and death stand only a heartbeat apart. There, I witnessed a rare and incredibly risky event, a direct confrontation between the Hadzabe tribe and the undisputed ruler of the wild, the lion. As the first rays of dawn struggled to pierce through the cracked, dry earth, a thunderous roar echoed from afar. That sound was not just the roar of a beast, it was a chilling warning, a merciless declaration that on this land, humans are not the only creatures born with the instinct of a predator. To most of the world, the lion is a legend, an icon of power, the apex of the food chain, the proud lord of the savannah. But to the Hadzabe, one of the last true hunter-gatherer tribes remaining on Earth, the lion represents something entirely different. To them, the lion is not always a revered symbol, sometimes, it is a real and immediate threat, a brutal test of survival that they must confront with courage and ancestral wisdom. Between the lion's brute strength and humanity's will to survive, a silent battle began. A heavy, solemn silence filled the air, for the Hadzabe hunters knew this was one of the most dangerous hunts of all. Against a lion, a bow and arrow must be more than sharp, they must be perfect. They inspected each bow, ensuring the animal's sinew strings were tightened to absolute precision. Then, they carefully reapplied poison. The toxin, extracted from the sap of the euphorbia plant, was reduced and thickened into a dark, potent layer on the arrowheads. This was their only hope. The arrow had to bring the beast down, or at least weaken it, as quickly as possible. Alongside the bows, they prepared long wooden spears to divert and distract the lion's attention, and sharp hunting knives strapped where they could be drawn in an instant, tools of last resort survival. Looking at these simple but meticulously prepared weapons, I realized, this was not a battle of technology, it was a battle of will and ancient survival knowledge. The sun climbed high, shining directly down on the fallen prey, a large antelope lying on the ground. But the feast had been interrupted. From thick brush nearby, a massive male lion emerged, its eyes burning with hunger and aggression. It growled, a deep, commanding sound that claimed unquestionable ownership of the kill. Fear was real in that moment, but I saw the Hadzabe hunters rise above instinct. They did not run. They stood tall, gripping their bows tighter. This was no longer just a hunt, it was a clash of wills. Two young hunters quickly drew their arrows, bows taut and ready. Meanwhile, the eldest hunter slowly stepped forward, spear in hand, eyes locked onto the lion's gaze. Their strategy was to overwhelm the king of beasts with fire and loud noises. The lion grew furious. It roared louder, baring its razor-sharp fangs. But just as it tensed to charge, an arrow was released. It flew lightly but landed with precision, striking a non-fatal spot, painful enough to warn, not to kill. The arrow wasn't meant to take its life, it was meant to draw a boundary. The standoff dragged on, tense and breathless. Finally, faced with the Hadzabe's unwavering resolve, their willingness to fight to the very end to reclaim what was theirs, the lion hesitated. It realized the price of this meal was far too high. With a growl of frustration, it turned away and disappeared back into the tall grass. Victory belonged to the hunters. I couldn't help but tremble with awe at their bravery and skill. It was a moment where human intelligence and determination overcame the strongest beast of the savannah. Through this encounter, it became clear that Hadzabe life is not about showing off strength. They chase lions only in extreme circumstances, when survival itself is threatened, or when the tribe's future depends on a bold decision. And I witnessed exactly such a moment. These intense clashes often happen for a very practical reason. Lions frequently steal the Hadzabe's hard-earned kills. Following the scent of fresh blood, lions boldly claim the prey that hunters fought and bled to bring down. In these rare and desperate situations, the Hadzabe must act. It is not only about reclaiming precious food. It is about asserting their place in the wild, proving that humans cannot be dismissed as weak. In those moments, they are not merely hunters, they are warriors defending their honor, their sustenance, and their ancestral way of life. The feeling was both awe-inspiring and spine-chilling.
With this bird,
After witnessing this life and death confrontation with a lion, I realized a profound truth about the Hadzabe. From a modern perspective, their lifestyle may seem lacking, but in reality, it holds a priceless lesson in simple abundance. They teach us that simplicity is not poverty, it is freedom from unnecessary material burdens. Without the weight of money, technology, or the obsession with possessions, people can direct their energy toward what truly matters: community, instinct, and survival. Facing the king of the savannah, the Hadzabe redefine courage and recklessness. Their bravery is not madness, it is calculated wisdom preserved through thousands of years. Their boldness is not blind, it is a measured resolve born from the need to protect their community's survival. And with that, our journey comes to an end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a like and share your admiration for the Hadzabe people.
Sweet to the taste. The immature combs are usually lighter in the baby. There's the bees right there. Of course, you can see how small they are. Tiny, tiny, tiny.